ask if you are thriving or surviving? Have you even stopped to wonder? So as teachers and leaders and others start the holiday season, I urge you to spend a few moments with me just now to think about this. Where are you on the scale between thriving, being the best version of yourself, incredibly contented with life, or surviving, which for me is struggling? Something's not right. Something's out of kilter. Perhaps you're drained. Perhaps you're overwhelmed. How are you feeling today? What's your reality? I wonder. So join me today. Let's have a look at where you are on this scale of okay, not okay. Let's learn what are the signs of burnout, of overwhelm. What should we be looking at? And who are you when you're at your best? When you're at your most authentic self? Who is that? Have you even stopped to think about it? That's what we're going to be doing today. Just for a few minutes, take this time for yourself. It's really important. I don't know about you, but I so often would be teaching such long hours in school, having takeaways, not seeing very much of my children. When I did, it wasn't quality time. I was sleeping badly, I was helping others all the time, running around ragged. And then the holiday struck and I would get sick. So many teachers tell me they have the same. It's not okay, is it? So we just need to take a moment to think, okay, so with the holiday here, how can I be the best version of myself? And I would suggest starting that is to know what the signs are of warning that you need to take note and perhaps do something for yourself. It might even be, dare I say it, a little bit selfish. So you probably know what the warning signs are, but you don't stop to think about whether this is you. I certainly didn't. And people tell me, I've said it before on this podcast, they say it creeps up on you silently, this burnout. So why is that? Why don't we stop to take notice? Can I ask you to stop and pause just this moment, whether you're driving, walking, sitting? Listen to your body for a minute. Is your forehead a bit tight? Your ears high? Are your shoulders up or are they down? Is your jaw strained? How's your tummy feeling? Even your feet, you can feel the stress in your feet. How does your body feel, I wonder? Are you willing to take a breath and just to relax it all for a moment? I mean, you probably know the most common signs of burnout are exhaustion, insomnia. For me, they were very physical. Numbness, a bit of blindness, headaches. For others, I had a bit of this. It was constant crying, being snappy. I'm sure my children would tell me that was it. Or someone described it the other day as just not being themselves. They realized they're not themselves anymore. They're like a different person. The stress, the anxiety, even the isolation from friends. Has that become you? Have you started eating poorly because you haven't got the energy to cook well? Have you started going less to the gym or for a walk outside because you haven't got the energy? These are all warning signs that you're not putting yourself first and you're heading towards burnout. Or perhaps you're listening to it and you're already there. I get it. I've been there. And it's a very isolating space where you feel really rubbish because you wish you were stronger. So there's guilt, there's condemnation. I don't know, perhaps you have understanding people around you. You need to find them. Give me a call if you haven't. No problem. I'll talk to you about what it's really like and empathize because it's hard. So I want to go over today some strategies. You've got the holidays ahead. So what can you put in place to remind yourself that you have value? You're not second or third place in your list of priorities. You need to pop yourself back up to first. The reason being, if you're not okay, those around you aren't going to be okay, whether you've got children, whether you've got a partner, siblings, even your class at school, or if you're a leader, your colleagues. If you're not okay, they're not going to be good. Statistics are quite brutal. about the impact of teacher well-being on student performance. So when teachers do better, students do better. Of course they do. So let's look at some strategies. I'm not going to keep you long, I promise you. So I'm going to start with what's worked best for me, because that's where I'm at, right? So I found that journaling was number one for me. So for years and years, I've journaled and I've written down how I'm feeling, what's most important for me at the moment, what could I try? And the lovely thing about that is you look back even a week, a month, and certainly a year, and you think, wow, I have come a long way. I really have made progress. Even if I can't see the progress today, I have made progress. It's very encouraging. You can also see the people who've done life with you, who've sown into you. It's beautiful. But what I have more recently discovered is that guided journaling, or more proactive guided journaling, is really impactful. So I wrote a book. Of course I did. I love writing books. And this journal goes through all the areas that I needed help with, the new habits and new mindsets as I healed from burnout. It also takes account of what teachers and teaching assistants and leaders told me they needed, or what helped them the most. I put it all together in this journal. So what I'm saying to you is, if you want to be the best version of yourself, even starting tomorrow, you need to start looking at your thought life. You need to start looking at your boundaries. Are you saying yes to people, to things that mean you're saying no to yourself for something that matters? So, for example, my habit would be, if I've got an hour or two off and I just want to read my book at home, maybe go have a bath, and someone says, oh, Ro, could you just come and help me with this? I love helping people. So I'll go say yes. But that means in that day, I have no time on my own to recharge my batteries. That's where I recharge. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's okay to say no. And you don't need to say, oh, I can't because. You can just say, oh, I can't do it this time. Maybe another day. And actually, it's the same at work. In schools, teachers say they feel so bad and so pressurized to say yes. They feel so bad if they try to say no. What's that about? I hope there's leaders on here who might take note of that. Let's have a chat about how you ask people to do things, which gives them the option to say no if it's going to tip them over an already overfull day, because you have the right to say no. That's okay. Or maybe you say, oh, well, if I do that, which I can understand that's important, but then something else has to give, right? Because you're starting to put yourself first. Now, Jim Rohn, one of my favorite incredibly powerful speakers, he said, motivation gets you started, habits keep you going. So I'm hoping you're motivated to try and be the best version of yourself. What does it mean for you to flourish and to thrive? What would that mean for you? What would the best version of yourself look like? Do you even know? Could you stop to think about it? But as Jim says, you've got the motivation, great, but now you need the habits to keep you going. So going back to the journaling, inside my journal is, yes, boundaries, self-talk, dealing with distractions, how to sleep better. But the other thing that's in there that research shows is massively impactful is gratitude. If I said to you today, could you stop and tell me 3 things or 3 people you're grateful for? Or even let's go wider and say, what went really well today or yesterday or this term? Do you ever stop to think about that? Because I bet you've had immense impact, huge impact. And it might be in teeny weeny ways, like giving a child a hug or smiling at a colleague who's really struggling. Or it might be in enormous ways where your children in your class all feel safe and happy and included. Do you see what I'm saying? So we need to notice the good things. We need to notice the things we can be thankful for in life. It might just be that we've got a safe, warm bed to sleep in tonight. And that's a good start, because as you start practicing gratitude, you'll notice more and more things. Someone bought me, I don't know if you can see behind me, there's a a Christmas cactus. Someone bought it for me, and I'm so grateful for it because it's something in my house that makes me smile every time I see it, because it was kind, it was unexpected, and it brings a bit of colour into my kitchen, right? So we're not talking huge things. Start small, but we need to build some healthy habits. And I can tell you that my habits when I was a teacher and a deputy head, whether I was teaching the Senkos on their NASCO course, didn't matter. Whatever I was doing, my habits were poor. I loved my job, but I had poor habits. So now I'm learning new ones, and I'm hoping that others can learn from my mistakes and my learning, because as we grow, we do better. We want more energy. We want more productivity, don't we? And there's so many more things you can do. One of my top tips, I love this one. I learned it from two young teachers. They have a podcast called The Teacher Experience, and they are so energetic and enthusiastic about their jobs. Now, they have designed a life planner, and it's in the back of my journal, my Burnout Busting Teacher's Journal, because I think it's so important. I've taken it on. And what you do is you look at next week. So if you look at your holidays and you think, right, what matters to me? How am I going to relax best? How am I going to do something that makes me feel alive? Book it into your planner. And those things go in first before everybody else's wants and needs. Tricky if you've got children, especially small ones, I get that. But you can still prioritize yourself somehow, because we always can. Even if it's for short times, we can do it. You might need to ask for some help, and that's okay too. Maybe you need to reach out to somebody today. Ask for help. Explain how you're really feeling. How would you react if someone came to you feeling how you do today? What would that feel like? Because really, we need to be looking after each other. Do you know someone who you feel is getting close to burnout? Could you reach out to them today? It's an incredibly powerful tool to impact others, but you know what? It makes you feel good too. It fills up your tank when you help others, doesn't it? I've given you a few strategies. In my Burnout Busting Teacher's Journal, there are 52 weeks. The weeks are called things like Surviving Holiday Havoc, or Distraction Detox, or Self-Care Week. You can choose the week you want, and it gives you small, gentle prompts to think about that week. I gave it to one teacher and she said, I just haven't got the time to do it. Ro, I'm really sorry. So I pushed her gently for a week. And then the following Monday, she tried. I said, just try one line of Monday. So she did. And it said something like, what is the one most important thing today for you and your class? And she said in the car going to work, she thought about that. And she thought, all I want is for my class to be safe and happy. And that was her focus that day. And she said it just was magical to have that focus and to have thought about what is really important. Because we all know our children aren't going to learn until they feel safe and happy. So it's got to be the priority. But sometimes we're whizzing so fast through the curriculum and all the other stuff we have to do that we forget what could or should be a priority. And sometimes that priority has to be you. Maybe it's healthy eating. Maybe it's exercise. Maybe it's catching your thoughts, saying you're not good enough, you can't do it. Help, how am I going to survive? And it's amazing how people do feel that even about the Christmas holidays. So can I just suggest you have a try of journaling? Try my journal, try another journal, doesn't matter. Try journaling. Get your thoughts onto paper because it declutters your mind. That's what the research shows. And it helps you be more energetic, productive, creative. Might even help you to thrive. Imagine that. And can I suggest, whatever your job in school, please switch off this holidays. Because without a rest and recharging your batteries, you won't be your best version of you for next term. And you certainly won't be the best version for your family around you this holidays. Let go of the guilt. I've been there and it doesn't help. It doesn't work. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful holiday and I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Thanks for listening. I hope you took something of value from today. If you want to connect, I'm at rowenahicks.com, or I have a Facebook group, which is Preventing Teacher Burnout. So I look forward to connecting to you at one of those.